See then that you walk circumspectly in your life. How are you walking on the path of life? Unfortunately, many Christians fail to walk safely on the path of life. They become entangled in the snares of sin, trapped in Satan's net, and drawn in destruction and perdition. Why does this happen? It is because they do not enjoy the privileges given to God's children and instead live as the unwise. This does not mean they lack the wisdom to live in the world. The issue is that, even after receiving God's wisdom, they continue to rely on the wisdom of their old man. The wisdom of the world is the ability to handle the situations we encounter in everyday life. People who have quick wit, sound judgment, or skill in solving problems are often considered wise. However, God's wisdom extends far beyond this. For humans who are destined for destruction, the most important matter is saving and preserving their souls and finally reaching eternal salvation. It is God's wisdom that makes this possible. When we are born again, we have already received God's wisdom. At the moment of salvation, His wisdom has been given to us, and from that point on, it is at work within us. Becoming a Christian means entering a life of walking in wisdom. From then on, our responsibility is to activate the wisdom that has been planted in our spirits. To do this, we must first acknowledge that God's wisdom has been given to us. Then, we must earnestly seek to know God's will. The more abundantly we grow in the knowledge of His will, the more deeply we understand His heart. As a result, we begin to perceive all things through His wisdom. However, there's something that hinders God's wisdom from being activated. It is sin that is completely incompatible with His wisdom. Those who live as slaves to sin have no choice but to live foolishly, even if God's wisdom has been planted in them, because it remains inactive. Such individuals take sin lightly. They continue to think and act against God, yet fail to recognize it as sin. Their awareness of God is weak, which in turn weakens their understanding of His holiness. Eventually, their perception of sin weakens, and their caution against it becomes inevitably weaker. Unfortunately, far too many Christians behave like the unwise. Of course, this does not mean they do not believe in God at all. However, their hearts are consumed by greed for other things, preventing them from fully obeying God's word. Yet, they still consider themselves wise. But the wisdom they rely on is that of their old life, a wisdom that is utterly foolish before God. We have become God's children. Therefore, we must fully trust in His word and walk wisely in our lives. Foolish steps are unworthy of God's children. Even if the path before us is especially difficult, let us not be discouraged. Instead, let us continually activate the wisdom God has given us and move forward wisely on this path.